Hell nah, I ain't sleep today, but I'ma be okay. Miss my family on the east, but fuck it, I can't.
What is up, YouTube? Lucian1 here, and I am back with a brand new League of Legends video. Today I'm bringing you guys another tutorial video on how to play Lucian in the bot lane. So today I'm going to go over some basic combos that you want to be able to look at, some trading tools that you can use when you're in lane with him, and also how to try to maximize the amount of damage output that you can get in a Lucian. So starting items that I normally like to go, well, for me personally, I like to go a long sword and a refillable, right? The reason why I like to go this is because when I go back to base, I don't have to buy another potion. I have the refillable, so I can upgrade that to a corrupting potion if I want to for, you know, more sustain, or I can just leave it at this and I won't have to spend more gold or more pots to sustain the lane, right? The second thing is your longsword builds into a lot of your core items that you're going to go into with Lucian. Me, I like to go more of the crit oriented Lucian, so like I go Essence Reaver into so I'll go Essence Reaver into the I actually go not the rapid fire cannon, I go Phantom Dancer. So I'll go Essence Reaver into Phantom Dancer into Infinity Edge, finish off my boots, and then I'll go into like maybe Blade of the Rune King or something of that nature. It depends. Each game is going to be different. You're not going to build the same standard items. These are just some of the things that I like to do when I'm playing Lucian and things like that. But for me personally, I like to go longsword and refillable, right? I start off with Q most of the time. I don't really start off with any of the other abilities in lane because there's really no point of doing that. Alright, so you'll get to lane, and in lane, your last hitting is really good with Lucian, especially when you proc your passive, because you get the 2 shots on, because your passive will automatically prioritize the nearest target. So if you're next to a low minion, it will prioritize that low minion, forcing you to auto attack that next minion, right? So like right here, you see this one? If I can, nope, I didn't make it in time. So this one right here, boom, right? Real. So this one is low, right? This one right here, and then this one is low. So I'm gonna shoot this one, and it shot 2 minions that were already low, and it prioritized those. So remember that his passive will automatically proc on the lowest targets, and it will get them every time, right? Now, when you hit level 2 in lane with Lucian, if you hit level 2 before your opponent, you need to take advantage of this factor. They call it a level 2 power spike, right? So basically what happens is you hit level 2 before the other opponent. So what you want to do is, you want to Q, proc your passive, dash, proc your passive, right? Now, that's supposed to be an enemy champion, obviously, but this is a training match, so I guess I could put in a training dummy. There it is. Right. So you want to Q, auto attack, doom, right? And that procs your press the attack as well. So that did 226 damage. That's not with your support also aggroing this person as well, right? So you can output quite a bit of damage, right? Now, when they hit level 2, you might want to try to back off a little bit, right? But you also, once you get level 3, your harass can get even better. So you want to start off your combo like your W, auto attack, dash, auto attack, right? And you proc those your proc the passive and your proc the Excel Blaze to give you that additional movement speed, right? And then you want to finish it off with that, right? So it's going to look something similar to like this. It's going to be W, auto, dash, auto, Q, auto, right? Now, the reason why it made me auto attack the minion instead of the champion right there is because the minion was the lowest target right there, so it automatically just targeted the minion instead of him. So sometimes that does happen. It's very rare, but it does happen. So be aware of that. So that's your main damaging harass that you're gonna do in lane is the W, doo-doo, dash, doo-doo, doo-doo, right? Now, you don't have to do a long dash, right? You can do a shorter dash, like this, right? So, I play with the quick cast. So, when I play with quick cast, it determines on how far I'm going. I know how far his dash is. His dash is going to be right here when I stop, right? That's his max dash. If I don't want to dash that big, I can just do this, right? I don't have to go as far as that. So a short dash can actually help you to avoid taking tower shots, right? So like say for instance, if the dummy was right, let's put a dummy. Let's put a dummy right here. Short dash. Now that was a long dash, right? So I got punished. But if I did a short dash, I'm right outside the turret's range. Right outside the turret's range. So because I was right outside the turret's range, it couldn't pop me. Even though I did get the 2 procs off my passive on it, I still didn't get hit because I wasn't within turret aggro range. Right? So that's really key to remember, is that you can control how far and how wide your dashes are. Because in the laning phase, which is where Lucian needs to take off for the most part, if he has a rough laning phase, it's really hard for him to come back later on in the game because he's a laning bully, essentially, right? So understanding what your champions are good at and understanding what they can actually do within certain phases of the game is really important. So you really want to make sure that you you focus on these types of things, right? Now, now that we've covered that type of the pre-level 6 stuff, another kit that you can use of his is you can proc your W, right? And now the Excel Blaze is on top of him. Now every time I hit him, it's going to give me the movement speed, right? You can use your W and then R, and you'll gain the movement speed for all of that. So all 30 shots, no, 20 shots, you'll get your movement speed for it. So this will give you all the movement speed, as you can see, right? So I gained all that movement speed for each one of those shots. So like say for instance, if a person is just right out of your attack range, because you got like 550 attack range, right? If you can hit this and then follow up with this, you'll get all the movement speed you need, and then you can press R again, cancel it, and then you'll be right up on top of it, and they won't be able to get away from it. Now they're forced to have to take all the DPS that you have to offer in that fight because they couldn't get away from you. So going into this and then going into this right afterwards can really make a big difference, right? And your R can proc a lot of different things, right? It procs lethality, it procs armor piercing, armor shredding, it procs magic penetration if you're going AP Lucian. I don't recommend it, but if you do that, more power to you, right? So your ultimate procs a lot of different things for Lucian kit, and it's a really important part of his whole entire piece that he has there, right? Now, outside of the laning phase is where Lucian does not tend to shine that much, right? Because again, he doesn't have the range that a Twitch or a Caitlyn or a Jinx have, right? You can siege really well because you can proc your passive on what's it called? How do I get rid of it? No. I wanted to do it again. Alright, but basically, every time you get your passive, you can proc that on the turn. So it helps you, right? It helps you be able to just push the turrets that much faster. So if they, no, they're gonna try to target the minions. I don't know how to get rid of the dummies. But essentially, if I was, oh wait, I can go to mid lane. I'll just go to mid lane, and I'll show you guys that. But it's important to know what you can and cannot do with that, right? So like with your dash, you can dash over any type of wall for the most part. So this, yeah, I can dash through that. You can't dash through this, right? Only Kazakhs can get over it. But you can dash through this way, and you can dash back this way. I believe you can get through this little crevice right here, like Echo. It's like right about, I want to say here. Nope, only Echo can get through there. But basically, you can get through a lot of different places. Any place that you would normally be able to dash through, you can dash through with your E. So right here, right? I can auto attack it, but that's a single shot. Then I Q a minion, double proc. W, double proc. E, double proc. And because I use those abilities first, before you want to use your E first, because after you proc your passive, it's going to refresh your E. So let me take off the auto refresh on my cooldowns, and then I'll show you what it looks like normally. So you're a Q, auto, oh god, okay. So what it normally looks like is like this: Q, dash, that. So each one of your procs will lower your E cooldown significantly. So that's why cooldown reduction on Lucian is really important. Which why a lot of people tend to go more of like the cooldown reduction with like Black Cleaver and like different other cooldown items and things like that, lethality and things of that nature, because Lucian can go into those paths. Like he's a very diverse champion. He's not forced into like one build path, right? Which is really cool, because then that gives you a lot of variety on how you want to play the champion. So in terms of a team fight, it's really tricky, but you really want to make sure that everybody goes in first, if that makes sense, right? So like say for instance, these are the enemy champions over here, right? Right. So this is the enemy team. They're in position. They're looking for a team fight, and it's me, my support, jungler, and the top laner. Right. So this is a normal team fighting looking position right before the action starts. So you want to really wait before like when the action starts. So when someone initiates, don't immediately jump into that, because they're waiting for you to get into position, because you have really short range. You see how close I have to be to an auto attack? Like I can't auto attack from here. I have to get this close, which is perfect range for anybody to proc any type of ability off of against me. So if I'm that close, if I'm this close, that's pretty decent range, right? But it's still not. It's not like Cage. It's not like Twitch, who can just auto attack from like back here and auto attack someone. Like this is how close I have to get to auto attack someone. So obviously you want to make sure that you want to wait first, have everybody else engage, and then after everyone else engage, you can, go into your combo. Make sure you focus the squishies first. Play Lucian like you would play an assassin. Focus the squishies first and then work your way towards the tanks. Even though you can shred through tanks pretty easily, you have to build that type of stuff. Because normally, Lucian's kit is just damage. It's just raw damage. It doesn't give him like true damage. It doesn't give him like auto crits or headshots or anything like that. So it's just raw damage. So obviously you want to be able to make sure that you focus the squishies first. Allow your teammates to help you fight the tanks. Because if you try to fight the tanks without any type of armor shredding, you're probably going to get murdered. And that's pretty much it to all of Lucian's kit. Where you want to be in terms of positioning, what you want to do in terms of laning phase. I mean, a couple other little neat tricks to try to practice in lane. If they got a minion wave and things like this, you want to be able to, so like, let's say for instance, this person, right, and then he got hit because the minion was lined up with the Q. Your Q is always in a straight shot, so everybody that's always in the straight shot is always going to get hit by that. That can hit the minion. I mean, that can hit a minion or it can hit a champion. So make sure you remember that. And plus your Q, it procs on the last thing it hits, not on the first thing it hits. So when you and what I mean by that is, it's like you press the attack, it procs on the last thing it hits, not on the first thing. So it's really not to, make sure you remember that one too. So if you are aiming for the last person, it's going to hit the last person with the press the attack proc. So it'll help you be able to DPS a little bit better. I hope this tutorial has been helpful. This is Zuki M1, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.